The next thing we want to draw is the arms. So the elbow is on the waistline. So you draw, if your waistline was short before, you need to make it a little bit longer, and then you measure 1.5 centimeters away from where the waist is, and then you connect from the shoulder to the waistline or the new elbow line, and then number two where the chest is, you can use your hand to just make a small line, and then that is where your armpit is. Then you also connect that to the elbow line. The palm is under the hips, a little bit lower than the hips, so you draw a line on that as well, and then you connect the lines. The elbow is a little bit smaller, so you make the space between those lines smaller than the elbow, the one you did for the elbow, and then you do the same thing on the other side. You measure 1.5 centimeter away from the waist, and then you connect it to the elbow line. You measure from number 2 is where the armpit is. You connect it to the line again, and then your palm is where under the hips. So you connect another straight line from it, make it straight to that place, and make the wrist smaller. As you can see, the croquis is already forming. Now we want to draw the palms. You need to watch the video very carefully to be able to see how the palm was drawn. As long as you watch the video very carefully, you should be able to see how the palm was. On the croquis, as you can see it, the armpit is where you draw the curve from, and then you bring it out and connect it back to the line where the bust stop, which is the 2.5 line. And connect it as it is done in the video. And then for the cleavage is not as complicated as any other. The cleavage is just a Y shape. Once you draw a Y, you just make it sharp, and then you've already drawn the cleavage. The next thing we want to do is fleshing out. The next part we are doing is fleshing out. You curve out the parts of the body that are sharp because we use the ruler. You can see the waistline that it is very sharp, and no matter how tiny the waist is, it can never be sharp like that. So with your pencil, you curve that part out. And the hips is not always straight like that. I always prefer making the hips a little bit to come out a little from the waist. So from the waistline, you just come out to draw a short straight line out of the waistline, and then you connect it all the way to the hips. You just make it curvy. You won't use sharp points, and then you connect it all back parts are not sharp. The next thing we are drawing is the feet. Watch as it is drawn in the video. It's a little wider than the ankle. As you can see, you just draw a straight line, a little wider, and then you connect it, and it's as simple as that. The next part we are doing is erasing, because we need to erase all the lines that we traced out. We need to erase everything away from there. Mind you, before you erase, make sure you used a 2B pencil. The 2B pencil that you bought, because 2B pencil is a lot darker than 8B pencil. You use your 2B pencil to trace it out first before you erase. And when you erase, don't erase too hardly, so the lines that you've drawn you won't see. So you still see the lines, because you need to trace the lines back. You just erase the lines that are in the middle. After erasing, then you trace out the parts that you might have erased. You erase the lines in the middle of all the lines that are there, because the parts of the body are not sharp as it is. Make sure you take your time when you are erasing, and you don't rush it, so you don't erase part of the things you've traced out. While you are tracing out, you can erase a little part. Don't erase the part you are not ready to trace out yet. Erase a little and then you trace it out. Erase a little and then you trace it out again till you get the curves, and make sure the parts you are redrawing are not sharp edges.